cars on outside here.
And like you getting with rain coming, that like a good sound effects. Splash from front road. Oh.
Hello and welcome to Triathlonology, a triathlon podcast by Animis racing team. I'm Oliver.
And I'm Jackie. We are a mum and son coaching team who have changed our lives through the sport of triathlon.
Our podcast aims to break down the mysteries of triathlon training and show you, the listener, how simple and flexible it can be so that it really does become part of your lifestyle and not just a hobby.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Triathlonology. I'm Coach Ollie.
I'm Coach Jackie.
And together we're a mum and son triathlon coaching team from Yorkshire, dispensing straightforward, honest and straight to the point advice. This podcast is a reflection of our anecdotes of our time in triathlon, but also our coaching points and things that we want to make.
Yeah. And
today's episode we are going to talk about bad weather triathlons, because at the time of recording this it has just been
well, it was supposed to be.
It was supposed to be at the weekend, the opener to the WTS series at Abu Dhabi, but that got called off because of the torrential rain and thunderstorms. And while I can appreciate there might be thunderstorms in Abu Dhabi,
it rains and like
I can't imagine ever rodding it down with rain, like proper rodding it down, because it's a desert.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Clearly it must do. So that must be really freaky weather.
Because when I saw the tweet from the organisers saying, because I was already ready to watch it
on Red Button.
Well, no, I'm going to watch it on Tinterweb.
Okay.
And it said it were cancelled, and I think, how can it be cancelled for rain, for bad weather? It's flipping desert.
Because we thought about doing like a race that way out, like Egypt or
because we thought, it'd be nice to be sweet.
Abu Dhabi or Bahrain or whatever it is, when they used to have a 70.3 there.
Bahrain,
Oman, when they had a 70.3 there, because at least weather's guaranteed, isn't it? Even if it's boiling, you can kind of deal with that. But it's not going to rain. But no, hoid it down.
Shocking. When you saw pictures, you think, wow, really? So there's no wonder they called it off, because it was very, very dangerous.
And I've seen some athletes say, well, they could have slotted it in a better time, but somebody higher up in the authority made the decision. Not WTS, but I think somebody in the UAE made the decision. And to be honest, while I can see why they'd be disappointed at travelling all the way out there for a non-event, given it's an Olympic year, and the last couple of events I can think of at Abu Dhabi off the top of my head, people have skidded on the racetrack on oil, or on a bit of rain.
In that tunnel bit that they have.
And we were like making scene from Casualty, weren't it? One year. We all people skidding off under that tunnel on their bikes. Nobody wants to be responsible for people causing themselves an injury that rules them out at Olympics. So I can see they're upset, but I can see why the organiser decided to pull the plug on it.
Because like Oliver says, I mean, think about Johnny Brownlee in Commonwealth Games year. And he got knocked off his bike at Leeds. Yeah. And broke his elbow. Well,
there were loads of that at the last event I can think of in Dubai off the top of my head, or Abu Dhabi or wherever it was, under the on that Yas Marina course where they all skidded off. It were like horrific.
Yeah.
Like cycling on glass, according to people afterwards. So I can understand why they don't want to do that. And from a practical point of view, we know from being at Qatar, which is not exactly the UAE by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
On our training camps, but training holidays. But when it is being sunny and the wind blows the sand onto the road, if it rains or even like hints that might be a bit damp one night, the next day the roads are like glass.
Yeah, they are. They're really, really slippery. And because we've been in Qatar when it's been a World Cup. Yeah. We're a World Cup race on the
ETU
race on the Saturday, and on the Sunday they had an age group race, and halfway through they called it off because of the sea conditions. The wind was unbelievable. So it's part and parcel of racing triathlon.
And that got us thinking about bad weather events that we've done.
Yeah.
And events that we might have wished had been postponed because of bad weather.
Yeah.
but weren't. So I think the main one that we can think of as being the worst weather we ever did was...
Do you think Grantham?
Grantham, yes. When we did a triathlon at Grantham in 13, 14, something like that. They were a pool sprint triathlon, and let's just say, rather than a bike, it required an arc to do that event, because it just lashed it down, like hammered it down from the moment we woke up in the morning and got there to the moment we all finished. And sensibly, I decided to put a jacket on that day because I wasn't going to get wet through for no reason. And
it's not so much that though, Oliver. It's the wind chill.
Well, yeah, it makes you really cold. Yeah,
your core cold.
And I don't do very well in cold temperatures, so I thought I'm putting a jacket on, even if it cost me a couple of minutes in transition. Better to be doing that and be warm while I'm riding my bike and or running, rather than be freezing after 5 minutes and think, why have I done this?
And falling off.
Yeah. And there were several people who'd, when we got back in, had either abandoned or had completed but had got
medical
room with
leisure centre
variations of exposure.
Yeah.
That they'd had been cold or whatever, or going in the shower afterwards to try and warm themselves up and make themselves worse. So yeah, that's probably the coldest and rainiest event that we've ever done.
I mean, it really did rain.
It just lashed it down.
What I felt sorry for most were marshals.
Yeah.
Because if you're I mean, let's give a blinking shout out to marshals, because without marshals you can't put an event on. But when it's bad weather, it's bad enough you racing around in it, but if you were stood on a corner,
when all you're doing is helping people for free be able to take part in an event,
and you're getting a bacon sandwich and a cup of coffee, you think you're an hero.
Yeah, that's a really unsung job at best of times. But if you're stood in lashing down rain for 2 and a bit hours, that's not fun, is it? So no, thank you very much for everybody who's done that for us in events that we've took part in the past. It is appreciated.
Definitely.
Then I suppose the other event that we've done.
For me, my first ever event.
Yes, the East Hull.
Yeah.
That David Lloyd at East Hull.
Yeah.
That were an experience all in itself.
Yeah, that was very, very wet. I think for me, I'd never done a triathlon before, so I really didn't know. I'd only seen Oliver do one. I didn't know that, you let things go on when it were raining so much. And you think, does it still going to happen? And yeah, it does, because we're all crackers. And I was wetter on my bike than I had been in pool, I'm sure, because I didn't know anything. I didn't know about putting toe things on your shoes or taping holes upon on your tri shoes because of rain coming in, and I didn't know about wearing marigolds for your hands, and so I was absolutely like a drowned rat. And then it were like a cross country when you were at school.
Yeah, like the bike course were up a dual carriageway towards Beverley, weren't it?
Yeah, thinking.
While it's chucking it down with rain, and there's all these cyclists going up a dual carriageway and back down the other side, and cars on outside here.
And like you're getting with rain coming, that like a good sound effects. Splash from front road. Oh. So yeah, it takes a special type of person.
And then you did another one after that. You didn't think, sod this for a game of soldiers.
No, I didn't, because I got bug and I thought, I'm going to win this. So I could only get better.
Yeah.
So how many more have we had? Well, you're going to get. We live in Great Britain.
Yeah, raining is a staple thing, isn't it?
And
this winter it's rained pretty much every day for 6 months, which is why it's all flooded. But what else have we done? Pretty much every single Steelman, which was the off-brand 70.3 at York or just outside York that I did a couple of times. Every single one of them it's rained.
No, I'd say sundown when it's rain. I'd Steelman, it's not rain.
Sorry, it's sundown when it's rain.
Yeah.
Steelman it didn't.
Steelman it didn't, but
No,
sundown.
it rained both times.
Shocking.
Second time were worse than first, but I'd got my marigolds on for that, so we're all right, really.
But it's just bad for spectators and for
marshals
and marshals.
And like it isn't that much fun.
But competitors.
When you ride it, so I saw this thing on Instagram this week about Type 2 fun, where it's miserable while you're doing it, but then when you look back, you think, "Oh, I've had a really good time," and definitely one of them events.
I haven't heard of that. Type 2 fun.
Definitely one of them sundowner events were Type 2 fun, where I absolutely sheeted it down, and I'm there in my little gore jacket and my marigolds on, riding about for 2.5 hours. Running's not so bad, but it's riding your bike and letting your glasses getting fogged up and rain coming down your glasses, so you're trying to keep splash out of them. Yeah, and after a bit, it just get a bit miserable, and that's probably why I don't ever want to do an Ironman, because 5.5 hours in my own company is plenty enough. Definitely 2.5, 3 hours in my own company on bike is more than enough. If I had to do an Ironman and it were rodding it down like at Bolton last year, a year before,
I think as much as I probably wouldn't give up.
And you're on your bike for 8-9 hours.
Yeah, I'd fall out on myself.
I'd have enough by then. There's only so many songs like you can sing in your head, or try and cheer yourself up, or talk to yourself before you get fed up.
Yeah, and as much as
tell yourself to shut up.
Yeah, as much as Chrissy Wellington says, tape something on your bars so that you can, an inspirational mantra or something. And she used to have "If" by Rudyard Kipling. Well, it'd all be frigging wet front, you would see it. Disintegrated.
Yeah.
So that's no good, is it? And like Oliver says, how many times can you sing Linkin Greatest Showman?
Yeah, it'd just be an experience. That definitely would be Type 2 fun for me.
I don't think it'd even be Type 2 fun.
Just be miserable. Well, no.
That'd be just misery.
So it doesn't have anything, but not everybody can like same things, otherwise it'd be a boring world, wouldn't it? So for me, my limit is doing an half Ironman for that amount of time, because other than that, I've had enough.
And famously, we've talked about this on a few occasions about one of the buggiest, rainiest places we've ever done it is in Hyde Park.
Yeah,
so,
right, well, that's Somme, and that we're being generous at Somme.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're gluttons for punishment, really, aren't we? When you think about it.
Yeah, I think we do any others where I don't know. I just think for people who are born in England and in Yorkshire, where it rains most of the time, even in summer you get like a few weeks where it's good weather, but most of the time there's at least a drizzle or some.
Or fog.
We just don't like it. We just don't like rain. And it's not, well, I certainly don't, and it's not my thing. Heat, no problem with. I don't mind if it's 900 degrees. I can cope with heat, somewhat ironically. And I perform better when it is hot. But I cannot do rain.
No.
Or cold. It just goes right through me.
Yeah, it gets to your bones and it's not nice. No, it's not pleasant.
And I don't find it, it's Type 2 fun. Definitely.
I'd say that was Type 3.
Well, I don't know if there's a Type 3.
Well, I'm making one up.
Okay.
It's Type 3, which is awful.
Yeah. Type
it's
2
not fun
fun.
at all.
Being miserable and then enjoying it afterwards.
And then it's like when you get off your bike, think never doing that again. You get it warm, get your clothes on, and then start looking at your phone and sign up for another. Because we're all mental.
Yeah, none of other ones have been particularly rainy or horrible, have they?
No,
I think
so.
On top of my head I mean, Grantham,
that 2 years in succession, that were.
Yeah, I know we were missing. Like I said, we were missing coming down that main road going back to the leisure centre, where nowhere to turn up with his arc.
Yeah.
And you couldn't have rolled that out at various points in the morning because it were bowling it down, weren't it?
Yeah, it's soul destroying. You think, oh no, well, that's what I got to do.
Yeah, because wind is one thing. Like, I don't necessarily mind wind because that goes both ways. Either you get a crosswind or a bit of a tailwind. You can sort of put up with it, even if there's an headwind for a bit. But if it's just relentlessly raining, it doesn't matter if you cycle into it or if it's at the back of you. You're just getting wet. And a splash from your wheels is coming up to wet you even more. And no, it's not my idea. Not a good time. But there's not much you can do when you've entered an event and you've trained for it and then it rains.
You've just got to put up with it. I mean, we train in rain because you're not going to melt. I know that, but.
I like running, fine. No problem with running in rain.
No. Although.
None whatsoever.
I don't really want to run this weekend if it's raining, but anyway.
Well, cross that bridge when we come to it, but
Mm.
I don't mind running in rain.
But
Because
cycling,
all your body is moving, so you keep warmer.
but cycling,
Cycling, particularly in a TT position, all that's moving is your legs.
yeah, it's
And there's a
not
big
nice.
surface area to get cold.
Yeah, it's not nice.
I'm trying to think if there's any other ones that we've done other than that. It's been crap weather.
Don't think so. Not rain anyway. Well, we've had bits of rain, haven't we? But
Yeah, odd shower's fine because it disappears and there's
Yeah.
not much you can do about that. And if there's a
I mean, it's been thunderstorm when I've done London.
yeah, what happened with that then?
We had to stop.
Why didn't swim?
No, they didn't. Well, they got you out at swim, but they didn't even stop. And they knew it were coming, so they didn't. They just stopped it for not down the hours, so that
Until the thunderstorm had
yeah,
passed. Well,
yeah.
I suppose can't have people getting electrocuted in
no,
Excel. I imagine insurance for that.
no. So
Bahrainians wouldn't have been happy about that.
they would not have been happy about that. Definitely not.
No,
Oh,
because Excel, I'm sure, is owned by Bahrain State Wealth Fund.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because that's the only triathlon where no matter what the temperature of the water is, you have to swim in your wetsuit. So even if it's like hot enough that you end up being like boiling the bag rice, tough, you have to swim in your wetsuit. It's not optional.
Well, it didn't used to be unless.
Unless it's changed recently, but whenever we've done it in past, it's compulsory that you have to wear your wetsuit, which I'm not bothered about. I like swimming in a wetsuit.
But it's for insurance.
So that they're covered for if you have a problem, they at least float.
So that's about it, I think.
Yeah. So we've had. There are always events where you can't plan. Well, the one thing you can't plan for an event when you're doing your training,
Especially in the UK, is
the
weather.
But as Billy Connolly, the great Scottish comedian, said, "There's no such thing as bad weather. There's only the wrong clothes."
True.
And we've talked about the right clothes to wear in previous episodes. But for me, if it's raining, put a jacket on, put some marigolds on, and then you're at least halfway there.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you've got any experiences you want to share about you racing in the rain or other weather types that you don't particularly enjoy, please contact the show. Let us know on email or through our socials what your thoughts are on this, and we will get back to you on it.
Yeah, maybe we even want to give you, if you want to come on the show and talk to us about it, we can do that as well.
Yeah.
Because we'd love to hear from other people.
Maybe we're just weirdos who don't like rain, but everybody else loves it and it's sun. But yeah, get in touch with the show and we'll come back to you. So thank you very much. That's been another episode of Triathlonology. I've been Coach Ollie.
I've been Coach Jackie.
And until next time,
I'll see thee.
we'll see thee.
Thank you for joining us today.
See you next time.
See you then, or as we say in Yorkshire, see thee.